Welcome back to Touring Townsends. We're Dave and Jill, and we travel as much as possible in our Cardigan liner for two motorhome. We're currently on a trip around Pembrokeshire and West Wales. We started out in Tenby, and in this episode we moved from St David's to Dinas Head and then Mwnt. The only way to go north from St David's along the coast is to pass through Fishguard, which is a beautiful place with a big ferry port nearby. Unfortunately, Lower Fishguard has some very narrow streets, and particularly at the bottom of the hill over the bridge there's a real pinch point. In a motorhome it's always a bit nerve-wracking. Once through Fishguard, the journey was straightforward until we got to Dinas Cross and turned towards the campsite on Dinas Head. This involved travelling through some pretty narrow streets in the village and then down a single track lane to the bottom where there's a beach I can't pronounce and up to the campsite. We just had to pray that we weren't going to meet any traffic on the way, and fortunately we didn't. If you enjoy the video, please give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And do leave a comment. Have you booked campsites and then regretted it when you looked at the access? There's been a lot of that on this trip, but so far it's all worked out. Once we've got parked up on site, we had our lunch outside, enjoying the very nice weather, and then we headed down to the beach for the rest of the afternoon, just to chill and enjoy the sunshine. In the evening, we enjoyed a really tasty dinner at the pub by the beach, which has a really good restaurant. Good morning. So today we're going to take a walk along the coast and head towards Newport. Not anywhere that we've walked before, so we don't know how up and down it is. I think some of the walking around this area is quite steep and therefore will be slow, but hopefully we can get at least to Newport and then head back and have a barbecue for dinner. There was a coffee van in this little village, so we stopped and sat and watched over the water as we had a nice cup of coffee. We sat on a bench and ate our picnic lunch, still in a bit of rain, so we decided rather than walk back, we'd catch a bus back. We caught the bus in Newport after having a drink in the pub while we waited. We got off in Dinas Cross and then found our way down paths and a bit of road back to the campsite. Morning. So we've woken up today to very windy weather, although we're actually really sheltered where we're stood right now, so you can't tell. But anyway, the forecast for today is rain from about lunchtime onwards this afternoon, so we're going to try and get a walk done around the headland that we're staying on, hopefully get that finished before the rain and back at the van for shelter. Here's looking forward to it. This time we bought an ice cream from the coffee hut. So we made it back to site just in time. It was literally just starting to rain as we got to the van. We spent the afternoon indoors as it poured down. A quick tour of the facilities at the campsite. It was all looking very rustic but spotlessly clean. There's a kitchen area with a microwave and washing machine that's chargeable. There are 4 showers and they were really clean with plenty of hot water. Very nice to use, we never had to queue. The toilets are in these buildings and again were spotlessly clean and fit for purpose. So it was time to leave this campsite, which of course meant we had to navigate the narrow roads again, and this time there was quite a bit more traffic. So it's time to move on again to another site. We left lovely Dinas Head behind, having woken up to it clouded in mist and rain, although the weather has cleared now. So this time we're changing counties. We've left Pembrokeshire behind and we're heading into Ceredigion, I think. So we're going to stop off in Cardigan for a shop and then head on to our site at Mwnt. The Eisteddfod was held near Cardigan this year and it was a huge site. We arrived just as it started to rain once again. We needed water, so we stopped and filled up and then found ourselves a spot. There's no set pitches on the CL, you just park where you need to. So we tried to find some flat ground. It was quite sloping, but we managed. So we're parked up at a small CL in Mwnt and we're just going to take a walk down to the beach. It's been quite a rainy day today, so not great weather, but it's cleared up now, so we'll see what we can find. So today hasn't gone quite according to plan. The site that we're currently staying on is within a very easy walking distance to a beautiful beach at Mwnt, but unfortunately it doesn't really have access to anything else. We've stayed here before, so we should have known better, but our plan for today was to walk across the fields to a village where we could pick up a bus that would take us into Cardigan. We started off fairly early this morning to catch that bus, but we couldn't find the path. It seems to have been blocked off, the path sign was gone, there was an electric fence across the field that we wanted to walk through. Didn't really fancy hopping that. So we've had to go to plan B, which is to walk into Cardigan, but all along roads. So not great. Been quite busy up to now, although we seem to have got a quieter stretch at the moment. So it's a fairly long walk into Cardigan. Not sure how far, so I'll put that up on the screen once I've clocked it. And then once we get into Cardigan, we can then access the coast path and walk back towards our site. So not quite what we planned, but hopefully it should still be a nice day. The reason we're not just sitting on the beach is because it's really windy And once again, I'm saying that to camera while it doesn't look particularly windy because I'm in quite a sheltered spot between the hedges, but it is very windy today and that's made it quite cold. You can see I've actually got my coat on for the first time this trip. The sun still feels lovely and warm, but it is quite cloudy too. So hopefully we'll get a nice walk out of this. We'll keep you updated. So we made it into Cardigan. It was 6.5 kilometres. Found a nice coffee shop and treated ourselves to some Welsh cakes as well. We deserved it after that walk. We then walked down to the river and discovered that there were riverboat tours. So we took a lovely little tour up and down the River Teifi, had our picnic lunch, and now we're back on the coast path, slowly heading back towards our site. Still very windy, but the sky's cleared, the sun's out, beautiful walking weather. We got up to blue skies the next day, so after our super long walk the day before, we decided we deserved a day relaxing on the beach. So it was once again time to move on to our next site. So we'll leave the video here for this week. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And do leave us a comment. Have you stayed in the Mwnt area? Have you had problems getting around without a car? We certainly did. We'll see you next week, guys, for our next installment.